It should be noted right off the bat that I'm about to dip into a couple of things that are well outside of my area of expertise. I am many things, but one of them is absolutely not an economist. So nothing I'm about to say should be taken as fact. I'm just trying to point out a couple things I've noticed that are disturbing. I may have started this channel at exactly the wrong time, or maybe exactly the right time, depending on how you want to look at it. The original idea with the shorts was that we were going to go everywhere in town and try to find all of the best foods for under $5. And that $5 budget lasted for literally one video. We recognized pretty much immediately that if we kept the budget at $5, we were going to run out of stuff to try really, really quickly, because prices had already started to climb, but nothing like they have over the last year or so. And of course I've noticed that happening across industries. It's not just a fast food thing, but I think the most egregious example that I've come across is Taco Bell, because Taco Bell is supposed to be cheap. That is the entire point, or at least I thought it was. So I have to ask, what is this thing? These beautiful trees are called Bradford pear trees. Some of you are probably familiar with them already, but for those of you that aren't, they make these dense clusters of white flowers in the spring, and then in the summer they turn green, and then in the fall they turn these gorgeous shades of red and orange, and then in the winter lose their leaves completely. But sometimes things that look beautiful can have a little bit of a flaw, because for a couple weeks in the spring, these things smell like you stuffed a dead fish inside of an even more dead fish and then lined the streets of your city with them for a couple weeks in March. Some people say it smells like rotting flesh, some people say it smells like both poop and pee, and some people say that it smells like a private booth at an adult theater or a caveman's loincloth. Some states have already banned them, and a lot more states are trying to do the same thing, and it's not even because of the smell. Experts say that they grow fast, and once they get into a location, they can steal nutrients, sun, and moisture from other native plants. So you may wonder why it is that these things are everywhere, and the answer is because they're relatively easy to grow. They adapt to a wide variety of soils and conditions, so despite all these problems, they're not just surviving, they're spreading. And that got me thinking about other things in my life that seem easy but may not be worth the downside. What else in my life is everywhere but kind of stinks right now? So inside of this tortilla, they've got their new chicken, avocado ranch sauce, chipotle sauce, cheese, pico de gallo, lettuce, and cabbage. And for some of you that are paying attention, you might remember a burrito called the Chipotle Ranch Grilled Chicken Burrito that they had all of that, except it didn't have pico de gallo and it didn't have cabbage. And you may have also noticed that while that burrito was $2 just about a year ago, this one cost $6.39. So I have no idea how much they're paying for cabbage, but they need a new cabbage guy. I've made around 400 videos for this channel about fast food, and 67 or something on Taco Bell specifically. During that time, I've had some good things, I've had some terrible things, I've had some good deals and some bad deals, but this thing is in the running for the biggest ripoff that I've ever seen anywhere, 28. And that's not even because it's bad, because it isn't. Honestly, it's actually pretty delicious. The problem is that they had a burrito that was literally almost exactly the same thing a year ago for $2, which is 31% of the price of this thing. I gave that burrito an 89, so 89 times 0.31 equals 27.59, and then I rounded that up, I guess, for cabbage. Inflation is a real thing. It's impacted every industry across the globe, and a lot of people are quick to jump to Taco Bell's defense and say that they're not the only people that are raising prices, and that's absolutely true. But if they put this thing out for $3, okay, $4, sure, but for $7, they're robbing you. Disney has also been doing this. They've raised the price of attendance to their parks in part to reduce the number of people that are in the park at any given time, so the people that are in there have a better time. You raise the price by 10%, you get 10% fewer people in the park at any given time, and the people that are there enjoy it a little bit more. And maybe that's what Taco Bell's doing. But Disney has not been cheap for a very, very long time. They've never made affordability part of their brand, unlike Taco Bell. And it's not even a thing that Taco Bell did in the past. About a month ago, they had a keynote address where a guy stood up on stage, looked you in the eye, and said this.
We are a value brand. We pride ourselves on being that brand that has been there for you.
So that was a lie. I know that I've talked about this before, and I also know that this will inevitably turn into a political discussion, but that's not why I'm here. I just wanted to point out that while inflation is a real thing, and while the cost of products and of labor have increased across the board, that isn't what's happening here. This thing did not need to increase by 300%, and if you defend them, you're doing their work for them. And some of you might remember I made a video a little while back saying that I was done with Taco Bell, but that video was more about me just wanting to start making videos about things that I actually cared about. This video, on the other hand, is not me saying that I'm done with Taco Bell. This is me saying that you should be done with Taco Bell. And it's probably too late for me because, you know, the views, I have to keep going even if it bankrupts me and my family, which it very well may. So there is a link to my Patreon down in the description, so check that out, and don't buy this.